Hey Queens, what is going on? It's me, your girl Maritza, wanting to do what we do, y'all, and that is talk, right? That is have some good conversation and learn from one another, right? That is taking information that we need so that we can grow. And today I wanted to talk with you all about doing the work necessary to restore that relationship with yourself, forgiving yourself from past decisions that you may have made that did not turn out the way you thought that they were going to, or past decisions that you made that the enemy just is continuously having you on replay with yourself about as it pertains to you. Just past things, past decisions that you made, past mistakes that you made, past blah 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 blah. And when I say past, it don't have to be something that's a long time ago. It can literally be something that just happened, but it's in your past now, right? It is done, and it is now time for you to move along. But for some reason you keep playing it over and over and over, and initially that reason may be because you're trying to learn from your mistake, right? But it becomes a place of almost torment and torture because you're not moving past it. You're replaying it over and over in your head and saying, why did I do that? Oh, if I just hadn't done that. Oh, woe is me, this and that. And you're on like this repeat. You're on this repeat, this cycle, going through and replaying the same thing over and over. My life wouldn't be like this if I hadn't done this, if I had just made this different decision. And you're doing that over and over and over and over, and it's putting you in a place where you are unable to forgive yourself. And because of that, you are unable to forgive yourself for the mistake or the error or whatever you want to name it. And because of that, you're unable to move on to better things. Like your mind knows what you want to move on to, and you've even in some instances wrote it down, like thought it out, wrote it down. But when it comes time to move, when it comes time for doing it, you're stuck in that same space, or place in time of, why did I do this? If I had only done this. And yeah, the replay is on replay over and over and over. And Queens, it is time that you stop that. It is so important for you to get to a place where you are relieving yourself of the burden that you are carrying, living in a space of unforgiveness of self, right? Unforgiveness of self is one of those things that if you cannot do that for yourself, like you can't truly move on and be in a space of, looking at how crooked this is, you can't truly move on and be in a space of healing so that you can then move on to greater things. Because every time you try to move further along or up, however your mind processes it, you come back to the space where you left off, where the unforgiveness of yourself is hanging out, right? So an example of that could be, let's talk about purpose and careers, right? Since we all go through that stage at one time or another in our life. So let's talk about purpose. So you can be trying to find your purpose. You can be feeling your way out with this career, that career, just trying like, okay, I think I like this, I think I like that. Or I'm gonna do this with my life and I'm gonna do that with my life because that didn't work, or I got in there and I really wasn't feeling it, and so now this is my umpteenth time, however times it might be. For some people like me, the creative, it could be 13, 20. You could have tried all types of things. You could have identified one area of your purpose but be trying to figure out where it's supposed to land, right? And have tried all types of things, and in that process, if you're not careful, the enemy can get you tripped up where you are literally beating yourself up for failing in these different areas, right? Instead of looking at it in a way as, okay, it didn't work. At least I know now what I don't want, right? I'm one step closer to figuring out what I'm supposed to be doing, Lord, right? And I'm really feeling it, right? I'm getting good at it, right? We don't do that a lot of times. A lot of times we look at the negative. We take it in as negative, as failure, as I'm not good enough, as I'm just messing up in my life, and you know, I could be so much further along if I had just gotten this right. We stop playing those things out in our head and end up feeling in a certain way about ourselves, right? We end up in our feelings about ourselves. We end up in a place of unforgiveness when we start pulling them back. It's like, oh, wait a minute. Them layers come back, and right there is sitting this nasty, gunky way that we feel about ourselves and that we're mentally playing out within our head. So our emotions in our head is in that space, and guess what follows after this is there and this is there? The physical part of us is there as well. So what we act out ends up hanging out in that unforgiving space, let's call it, right? So an example of how that might look is you not doing anything that you're supposed to be doing to try out something different. You being in this space where you're like, you know what, I'm good. I'm just gonna hang out here for a minute, because all I'm gonna do is end up right back here anyway. So guess what? I give up. Queens, kings, if you're listening to, come on, come up out of that space. You have got to do the work to move past that space of unforgiveness. And one of the ways that you're going to do that is you got to first identify what areas that you have latched onto and are hanging out internally in this negative, unforgiving space about yourself and your past decisions, whether it be about people, places, things, careers, whatever it might be. What I did do, what I didn't do, what I did say, what I didn't say. Oh my gosh, oh, I'm just this horrible person. You got to come up out of there. Because if not, you are not going to be able to effectively move forward in what you are supposed to be doing. There are going to be things that are missing within you. Let's say you get somewhat there to what you're supposed to be doing, but there are places of you that are still hanging out in unforgiveness. And the one thing that I have learned is that if there are spaces of unforgiveness in you, including about yourself, those are destructive places that leave spaces of emptiness and negativity, hurt, misconceptions. It's in all of this. Check this out. When it's something that is unforgiving that you're feeling about yourself, imagine having misconceptions about yourself and trying to move forward in life. Don't let me get on how that can lead you into another space of unforgiveness about yourself. Another place where you should not be. So Queens, I need you to get busy doing the work, identifying what it is you need to be working on within yourself to heal, so that you're able to move forward and do or be with or end up in, or whatever it is, what you're supposed to be and where you're supposed to be and who you're supposed to be with. I love you with the love of the Lord, and I hope this helped. Later.